In this video, I'm going to show you some really cool tricks when working with multiple articulations in the piano roll editor of Logic Pro. So check this out. I'm using a string sample library called Cinematic Strings in this example, and this makes it possible to use different articulations. So some composers like to have a separate track for each articulation, which can create a mess in your project because you will end up with too many tracks to keep track of. So what if you could use several articulations on the same instrument in the same part? Well, you can, and I will show you now. So first you need to use an articulation set, which is Logic's way of telling which note is what articulation. So either you can create one of your own, and I have a video on how to create one on my YouTube channel if you search for it, or you can use third-party articulation sets. So I already have this, strings, Cinematic Strings 2, and this is the full ensemble. Let's see, there. So now I can switch articulations, as you can see in the smart controls. Staccato, pizzicato, marcato. Okay, so now when you go into the piano roll editor, whoops, here, let's close that for now. You can, if you program, for example, legatos and then go back to marcatos or whatever, you can set the articulation here once you have loaded the articulation sets. But in case you didn't know this, you can actually use it on a note-per-note basis and have several articulations playing at the same time. So if you check what I've done here, all these top notes here are pizzicatos. This note here is a tremolo. So I've just said that a tremolo here. These notes here, whoops, are staccatos. These ones here, this fast passage here, is supposed to use the run mode like that. These lower notes are longs. These final notes are accented marcatos. So all of these can play at the same time using the same sample library. Okay, and it sounds like this. Nice, huh? Because now you can get all of this in one single region playing at the same time, which will save you lots of space and headache and frustration searching for. I mean, you could have the staccatos here, the longs here, the tremolos here, and so on several tracks. But in this way, you can have it all on the same region. Also, a bonus trick here is if you go into this, let's say you want to, you don't remember which articulation is which. Well, you can actually view the note colors based on the articulation you have chosen here. So the pizzicato on that one. Go to view here in the piano roll, set note color by articulation. And voila, you get all these different colors. This orange colors apparently is the longs. Here we have the marcatos in a green yellowish color, this saturated blue. It's all the run mode. For some reason, I think it chooses a very close color. This is more purple blue, but it's still very hard to see. You can, of course, use the collapse view to get a more clear view because you get bigger regions for the notes. And these are very close in color, apparently, at least for this library. But this way, you can get an instant view of the various articulations, at least, I mean, here you see these are the longs, and you can also select them by articulation. So let's say I want to do settings on all the run notes, string runs here. Select that one, Shift D, and you are selecting all of the same articulation. It is, in this case, the run mode. Let's say you want to increase the velocity, average velocity value on those, as you can see here. Or let's say you want to accent the marcatos, Shift D, you can increase those until you are happy with the end result. And also, I mean, the short notes are using the velocity for the dynamics, but I use the long notes here, and the tremolo will be using the modulation wheel. So you can have that at the same time here. I just had that in the low setting there. One downside of using this, if you use several articulations at the same time that use the mod wheel or some expression CC data, is that it will use both. So you will get this dynamic variation and level on both the bass notes here, the longs, and the tremolo. So that could be a downside. I would probably use the tremolo on its own track in this case. But at least now you know how you can get all of these articulations in the same region to create a performance like this. Now choose which video you are going to watch next, or you can check out the amazing bonuses in the video description.